What up, everybody? This is lugnuts.guapo with Maverick Harley-Davidson, and we are doing a comparison review between the 2018 FATBOB and the 2015 FATBOB. Which 2015 later all the way up to 2017, obviously no changes whatsoever. So if it was a 2017, it would be no different. All right, so obviously both of these units have some accessories on them, but the powertrain has remained the same. No big changes, other than this might have a stage 1 since it has a heavy breather and slip-on exhaust. So let's see, which one should we start with? I think I'm going to start in with the 2015 FATBOB since that's always been one of my favorites. So let's get cracking. Smooth this a little bit. Like to toast my face. Alright, so right off the back, because I've been riding a lot of brand new Milwaukee 8s, this has the old school, if you will, vibration or shake, the Harley shake, not to be confused with the Harlem shake. Oh man, and you know what's odd is that, so I currently own a 2004 Super Glide. To those who follow me on social media, I have a 2004 Super Glide with 88 cubic inch 5-speed. And I would say that shakes a little bit more than this thing right here. But nonetheless, it still has the iconic Harley shake, meaning that it just shakes. It shakes at idle. It smooths out once the RPMs get higher. That's pretty typical of a Harley-Davidson, and there's nothing wrong with it. The funny thing is that I used to dislike Harley-Davidson back in the day, and the main reason why was the shake. I was like, man, that just doesn't seem comfortable. Who would ever want to ride anything that shakes? But the truth is there's something about it that once you ride a Harley-Davidson and like really ride it, you get it. Like there's a feel that comes with the shake that you don't get on any other bike. And that's what this has, and that's what people love about the twin cam, amongst other things. And here's the funny thing is when twin cams first came out, there's an uproar. Oh, they did away with the Evo, yada yada yada. And then the twin cam came along, and then like a lot of things that come up brand new, and they're new in general. There's like a couple of things that need to be tweaked. So obviously the twin cam earned early reputation of being unreliable, but the truth of the matter is that that's not true. It's just one of those things that had to be tweaked, and there you go. Of course, with the 103, that's they've come a long way since the 88 cubic inch came out, and it's smooth. And I mean, this is not a Honda. Like, it has a Harley shake, but it's so much smoother than my 88 cubic inch. Now, the other cool thing about this bike is it's a cruiser. Period. That is what this is. At its heart, this is a cruiser. It is comfortable. You got the stretched, the forward controller, so it's nice to stretch out the drag bar. it's comfortable. It just is. And the big tires, big beefy tires just make it feel really comfortable. It takes the bumps really well. And overall, I mean, out of all the Dynas, if I had to pick a Dyna to go cruising long distance, this would be it. It's just, that's one of the reasons why I've always loved the FATBOB, is how comfortable it is. And that is that. I mean, you can say all you want about, oh, well, the tires are stupid, they're like tractor tires, or, you know, whatnot. I've never had any issues with it. Granted, there are better tires out there for cornering and whatnot, but, you know, it just adds to the styling. At least that was the initial intention. Now, FATBOBs have always had like this like 50-50 deal where like either 50% of the people just hate what it looks like, and then there's the other 50% that love it, absolutely love it. It's different. It's not like all the other Dynas. I mean, the dual headlight, you know, there's just a lot of little things here and there, like the tail light, the Wally, the tail light, as a lot of people call it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Of course, not everybody feels the same way about it, and of course the 50-50 statistic is obviously made up, but what I'm trying to say is half of the people, I mean, people either love it or hate it. So, all right, construction, putting on in the sidewalk. But anywho, I digress. Yes, either people love it or hate it. I don't think I've ever met anyone so far. I'm sure maybe there's someone out there in the minority that could care less, you know, like it, dislike it. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. But most people, that's just how it is. Now, again, the reality is that it is a comfortable bike, whether you like what it looks like or, you know, don't like what it looks like. It is a very comfortable bike. I mean, the seat on this, I mean, this is not the seat that it comes stock with. It has a, I believe it's called a RAMBLER seat, which is what comes stock on the 2017 and a little earlier lowriders. And the original seat, which I love, which I happen to have on my Super Glide, very comfortable, a lot of nice lower back support. It just kind of holds you in. And the funny thing is, there's a lot of seats that are kind of similar in style, just a little bit more aggressive, like, you know, Saddlemen or Lucky Dave's. They have all these like step-up seats or square back seats, as a lot of people know them, and they hold you in very nicely. And the seat, the stock seat on the FATBOBs were just comfortable, and they held you in. So FATBOB in general was, in my opinion, a fantastic bike, which, by the way, this one is for sale right now. The one I'm riding right now has a whole bunch of accessories, detachable SISSY bar, you know, backrest. Come on, get on my way, slowpoke. And those slip-ons sound really nice, very nice. But yeah, this baby is for sale. Has low mileage for the year, and again, it has a RAMBLER seat, slip-ons, heavy breather, the cool cone shaped heavy breather, and again, a comfortable bike. Awesome Dyna. If this would be your first Dyna, you would not be disappointed. And again, if you want something that you can carve around, tight turns and whatnot, I've never tried that, so I'd be the worst person to ask about that. But it's comfortable on the highway. I've gone above 100 miles an hour on this and just felt super comfortable. So awesome bike, and loved it. Kind of bummed that Dynas are no longer, you know, a thing, but I obviously own a Dyna, so I'm a big Dyna fan. This Dyna is awesome, absolutely awesome. So let's check out the new version, the Softail, and see if I can get this thing off of here. Man, that was really on there. All right, so now 2018 FATBOB. Just to give you a little bit of a timeline, we are I'm about to start receiving the new 19s coming in here in a couple months. So these have been out for a while, and so far, no complaints. So awesome motor, incredibly reliable, and it's an incredible platform. Let's see if I can make this work like I did on the other one. Oh, look at that. Perfect. All right. So real quick, right off the gate, the most obvious thing is the tank is so much smaller. And when I say so much smaller, I mean that's like a 4.5 and this is like a 3 point something. So you lose a substantial amount of, you know, range on it. But this is a more efficient motor. And when I was having this conversation with one of the techs, it's like, man, it only makes sense that, you know, if it's a bike that's not supposed to, not that it's not meant to travel, but most people that will buy this are gonna do performance stuff oriented. At least that's what this bike is meant to be. You don't need that big of a tank. So with that said, I said that was a cruiser, absolute cruiser. It's meant to be comfortable. You're stretched out. This is supposed to be the new performance line, and let's see how much of a performance bike it is. So one of the other things that you will notice is that the kickstand is tiny, and on the Dynas, I mean, it went all the way back behind the primary. So kickstands are a lot different on the new Softails. So this one has slip-ons as well, and they sound pretty dang good. Let's go. All right, so the twin cam had you know, obviously a shake to it, because that's what twin cams are known for, as well as Evo, shovel heads, and the list goes on. So this one kind of strays from that a little bit. I know that from what I understand, Harley could have done away completely with the shake, but they just left enough in there to give it that feel to where it wasn't, you know, to where it was comfortable to ride without feeling that intense vibration. I say intense, that's, I mean, exaggerating, but that's how some people feel about it. But 75% less shake, that is substantial. And I mean, obviously you can feel it. At first, a lot of people were like on the fence about, oh, it's not a real Harley, it doesn't shake. And it's like, I mean, it does shake a little. There's a still small trace of it that says it's a Harley-Davidson. But besides that, I mean, this bike absolutely, it feels awesome. When you hit the throttle, instant torque, instant power. Oh man. All right, so this particular one has been equipped with cruise control, which it doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're like in Dallas, big city, being on I-35, 635, Loop 12, whatever, and there's no traffic, sure, cruise control, that's awesome. And if you're traveling, yeah, of course that makes sense. But again, going back to the point I was making earlier, this does have a smaller gas tank because it's really meant to be ridden hard, not necessarily going in a straight line on the highway for long periods of time, which again, totally capable of doing it. It's just, at that point, you could get a touring bike instead. But this is a fantastic bike for just being aggressive with it and being, you know, in city traffic and even in highway traffic. Yeah. So the cool thing about the newer controllers, because they've been around for a while, this right here, cruise control, that is so much easier to install, and it's just not as big of a hassle as it used to be with the older controllers. So it's fly-by-wire. Oh my god. Woo. Yeah, that torque it's noticeable, to say the least. Now, why would you buy this FATBOB versus the older FATBOB with the Dyna frame? Well, quite honestly, it's the platform itself, like the engine itself, it just has so much more potential. Just the way that it's designed, it's over-engineered. A lot of people don't know this, but it's actually over-engineered. Oh, train, nuts. So one of our techs went to do like the training on the new motor up in Milwaukee, and he was just saying how over-engineered these things are, that the motor with a stage 3 still has a lot of potential for, you know, pushing the engine a little bit further. And that's, I mean, that's honestly awesome, just for the mere fact that being over-engineered just helps with reliability in a sense, and just being able to push the motor and not sacrifice that much reliability. That's awesome. So other things that come with this particular one, they put the mustache bars on there. You stretch out and put your foot up there. Windshield, detachable windshield at that. Cruise control and slip-ons, which again, they sound awesome. Now, I find it interesting that Harley went this route with the FATBOB, because FATBOBs, again, I've always known them as the cruiser bike, like the bike that you get on the highway, and if you like can't necessarily afford a big touring bike, you just buy a FATBOB. It's just comfortable. Again, there's a huge difference between a touring bike and, you know, a FATBOB, but it used to be like the comfortable, stretched out, you know, kind of a bike, and now it's nothing like it. Like, it's comfortable, but it's like, it has forward controllers, but they're not as stretched out. It's allowing you to be a little bit more aggressive, you know, aggressive seating. And quite frankly, I don't mind it. I actually like it a lot. If you're like into performance, mid controls is really what ideally you would want. So this one is kind of like an in-between between performance based and a little bit of comfort. So the seat on this is just awesome too. It just kind of holds you in, but it's comfortable at the same time. It's definitely an improvement from the previous seat, which I've said before, very comfortable. So this being an improvement, that says a lot. Oh man, I can't get enough of this bike. And the funny thing is, like I was saying on the other bike, on the 15 FATBOB, that a lot of people like either love it or hate it, and it kind of feels the same way with this one. At least with other customers that come in and looked at it, it's like, man, it's like, it's hideous. And some people's like, man, that LED light is awesome. So I thought it was a good move to, you know, go with the LED lighting. It's definitely different. I mean, people that look at this bike is like, man, that's something that you would ride if the apocalypse was here. And it kind of has that vibe to it. And the suspension is inverted suspension, which is not something that you had on the previous bike. Again, it just allows you to ride a little bit more aggressively. And it still has the big beefy tires. The rims still say Harley-Davidson on, which I always thought that was a really cool detail on these models. But overall, I mean, it's a completely different bike. Completely different. I mean, and when I say completely different, it's like no duh. You know, different frame, different motor, and all that kind of stuff. But what I mean is, like, they went from like a cruiser that is just easy going, and you could like toy around, being a little bit more aggressive if you wanted to like, this is like, if you want your face to be ripped off while you're riding, that's what this is. You can still ride it kind of like the other one and be comfortable with it, but it just makes you want to push its limits. As opposed to the previous FATBOB, you just wanted to, like, you know, kick back and then just go to the open road. This is like, where are the twisties at? Nah! True. You have to test ride. If you haven't test ridden the new FATBOB, I dare you to. I dare you. I double dare you, triple dare you. It's an awesome bike, fantastic handling, And if you get the chance, if we still have that other FATBOB, you need to test ride them back to back because it is completely different. Completely different. And yeah, this one is for sale as well. So again, call us at 972-245-1492. Schedule a test ride, make this baby yours, and get some wind therapy. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube, where you are watching this video at. Subscribe, mash that like button, leave some comments below what you think, and I will post some of the extra accessories that have been adding to both bikes right below. Woo! I wanted to give it full throttle right here, but you know, some people just want to cut in front of you and end all the fun. Well, that is all for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. In the meantime, get on your Harley and get some wind therapy. That's right. Fuck it where it belongs for now.